in any demolition, just gotta figure out your way through it. Sometimes things work great, other times not so great. You just gotta muddle through what you got. This is actually came on a little cheese cutting set, and I'll tell you what, that's the handiest little thing I ever found. Today's trivia. Right tool for the right job, right? Not always. At this point, okay, you want to make sure that you are not screwing into this wood. Put this together. You have to, in fact, if there's anything you can take out, take it out. You don't want to screw the wood. You want this. This is supposed to be a floating membrane. So I'm going to get this clean. I'm going to shim this up a little bit before I put it together here, but since I'm going to be working on it, I think what I'll do is go ahead and clean this up before I shim You know, so often we make things more difficult than they have to be, going through and taking the time to remove screws. Normally there wouldn't be this framing here, so that would have just came off like a cap. So anyway, we make these things more difficult, sorry if you're bouncing around, than they really are. I don't really care that there were screw holes or the size. I don't want to attach to anything down below. I'm just going to clean this up, put my tape on it, and then let that sit a little bit. First I'll shim it up. We'll go ahead and get it sealed up. This isn't anything that's hard to do, so play along. get these seams as clean as you can get them. Perfect. It's gotta be really clean. You want to take your time when you do this because you don't want to have to do it twice if you don't want to. Let's see here. Okay, now we're going to dry fit a piece of aluminum. This doesn't have to be anything schmancy, just the right size. Right here. It doesn't even have to be square. It just has to cover the hole right. Okay. Then we shall take our straight edge. Like this. Okay. Like that. Just do the same thing. I think we're gonna like that. Now, the next thing you want to do, I got to shim it up downstairs, but you want these corners here. You want them all pinched in a down position. Okay, you don't want them sticking up. I'll show you why. I'm going to get underneath it there and shim the ceiling up real quick. Oh, hey. Now, since we know exactly what we're doing, come on, admit it, you want to be in here and all this gunk. Okay, shim the ceiling up. I'm using really short screws because I don't want to attach. At this point, you're probably saying, what a mess. I tell you, if you're ever working with this stuff and it's windy out, don't be afraid to set something on top of it, because, well, wind will whip that baby. Now, you can buy this in a caulk form, which I actually like better than this for this type of thing. But I have some, I just don't have enough to do the whole job, so there's schools of thought on this stuff, and some people jump up and down and clap for this tape, and other people jump up and down and clap for silicone, and some people say use latex caulk. So I just go with what I know, and what I know works. So that's the way we're going to run. I can feel this sticking. I have enough to finish. Might have to show you a cheater's way. Tip, a shortcut. Something like that. Or I could just go get more out of the shop, which is what I'll do. Think you're prepared, you seldom are. But I guess that was a good pause point, because I realized that I should be telling you when you're using these things, you know, number one, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. But the other thing would be, when you're using this tape here, it doesn't have to be one solid piece. I want you to consider this stuff like Play-Doh. I want you to squish it into, if it's warm enough, I want you to squish it into the metal so you can actually feel it stick to it. Sometimes you gotta wait for it to warm up. This was in the garage where it was cold. Let your joints overlap. Press them down like Play-Doh. That'll have to warm up just a second. And what I'm doing here is I'm building up this point, so I want this to be higher than the rest of the roof, so water doesn't come back here. We don't need a water one inside. So now I've already dry fitted that. Now here's where people are going to jump up and down and say no, 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 but I'm only telling you what I know and what I've done, and from that you can decide what it is you want to do and what works for you. I've done probably 50 of these roofs like this, and I've had zero fail. So I will just say this, my disclaimer is, to each their own, do what you want to do. Just leave me out of it. Look at that nice bead. You guys are starting to figure out what I'm doing here, aren't you? Now, take our pre-cut aluminum with the points down. Sometimes you miss it, sometimes you feel like